let's kick into a new campaign as you're all starting out. We had a fun little session 0, where you all got to go through an old, decrepit crypt. And in doing so, met with some undead monstrosities, who you thought at first were going to be enemies, but turned out to be allies in disguise, until it was revealed that this world wasn't able to support it with its own magic, and the entirety of it disappeared. Leaving as you did with an odd bean of some form, or a seed, or God only knows, it looks like a sweet potato. The team made their way back towards the town that had hired them to do this job. Their 5th member, who's unfortunately not here today, had gone off in order to get some basic supplies, just the simple things. Some rations, tents, bedrolls, in case there's any more traveling to be done. After all, in this world, as we've made ourselves to the world of Greyhawk, the players travel Earth long after magic has been removed from it. Not a scrap of it to be found most anywhere except with this party and the power that they contain. Rare as it is, they know to keep it mostly hidden and mostly quiet. But amongst the 5 of them, they know each other's power because they're the only ones who have it in this strange, cold world. The party would find themselves returning to the town that first hired them to get this work done. Whether or not some of them have ties here, or you're just traveling through the town of Haskinport, with a mixed demographic of humans, halflings, elves, dwarfs, gnomes, half-elves, and half-orcs for the most part, has a mayor governing over it. It's a small town at the edge of a shallow sea, founded, maybe a century ago, by the Haskin. Reynard Haskin, a paladin of St. Cuthbert, decided to retire to the area. With a manor built and a small private dock, his followers created the community nearby. It wouldn't have stayed just a hamlet were it not for the discovery of an edible mushroom, the bloodcap mushroom, in the local sea caves that became a bit of a delicacy. Through its functioning port, Haskinport receives little trade anymore. Only vehicles that had a shallow draft could ever have been put in here to begin with, so they have it a little bit rough now. Any merchants that take the trouble to trade here, however, only come for the one thing they have: the unusual variety of mushrooms that have made Haskinport somewhat famous. And as you make your way here, back to the town to relax, we're gonna start this adventure in the most noble of locations where all good adventures get to start. The local tavern, the Emerald Bear Inn. And I've gone ahead and activated the map and have it on play, and like most days, the sky overhead is filled with cloud and fog, and a small drizzle of rain continually pelts the characters as they make their way through, and we have a rowdy ragtag group of players here. The Vaxian, walking forward, and I'm going alphabetically obviously here, with incredible strength as a thaumaturge, and good knowledge as well. Deacon, unfortunately, not here today, so they'll have to get an introduction next week. But our next player, Nestri, the Lanthwin, the Magus of the team, very skilled with power, along with Phoenix as well. A Kitsune, wizard, making the entire nice circular of magic complete, but not to be outdone in the end is Ulog, because the team always needs a little bit of strength from this champion. An orc traveling with the team and scraping their head on pretty much every other ceiling that they come by. So bad, in fact, their player just got arrested by the cops. We heard it. It was a wop 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 of the siren. But you find yourselves approaching this lovely, lovely inn, the Emerald Bear Inn. Well established and well made, a warm and inviting place. Caters to the locals, as many of the travelers There's also some rooms to rent here, and you've probably got a couple for yourself for comfort. During the day, the inn itself is relatively quiet, as it usually is. And right now, it's about 3 o'clock almost in the afternoon, we'll say, as the players are making their way back. And of course, you can feel free to move your tokens around. Doors can be open, and you can have fun traversing this map. For the most part, I'm going to assume you're out front in the main tap room to get some drinky poo and relax a little bit at the same time. But this would also be where you picked up said mission. As I pop by the nice 3D view I have for the players walking into this beautiful tavern. You'd notice it has a bar, of course, with a number of stools around it for your comfort, some doors, some rooms, some side areas, and most notably at the back of the tavern, probably what catches your attention. The notice board. The same one you picked up your mission from originally. Of course, this one was straightforward. You were to turn it in to the innkeeper who was here.
Who do we think is the like the money person in the group?
The most charismatic?
The most charismatic?
Is that what you mean? Or just like, you mean like the person who handles the party fund?
Like, who would be the most eager to get paid? I guess is what I'm saying.
Well, I brought it up, so it'd probably be me. I'm not very charismatic, however.
Was it? Yeah. Well, you don't need to be charismatic to be the money person.
Yeah, I'll go in. Sorry, I was still working on my spell slots now that I figured it out. Do we know who we touched base with before, Alan? Like, who kind of put us on this path?
He said that we got the job from the notice board and we have to hand it in to the innkeeper. So
sorry. Yes,
I imagine we'll if we both go up to the bar, we'll get filled in who the innkeeper is.
Okay.
Indeed. Yeah. She's an older woman, probably in her 60s, 70s. Though, doesn't make too much of a difference. Still looks like she might be able to handle herself good in a brawl. Aside of that, a couple commoners sit around here, 2 or 3 of them, relaxed. While she's clearing out a mug and looks towards the group of you, broad smile across her face. As you come in, extending out a hand as she says, "Are you coming in for a bite to eat? I can definitely set you up with a nice, comfortable meal for sure."
Yeah, I appreciate that, but also, we cleared out the tomb and almost died, so I don't know, are you the person we talked to about money?
She snorts a little bit of a laugh at that one and shakes her head, a smile on her face. "Oh my word. Well, at least you're all still here. Looks like everyone was good and all that," and she would go ahead and take back the notice, we'll say, that was taken by the party prior to that session 0 to get it rolling. As she gives a nod looking over, says, "Yeah, everything looks in good order. Wonderful. I always enjoy having good seasoned travelers who are able to assist in these things, and here you are." As she sets down a bag with 50 gold coins, adding, For making it a good time and keeping it easy on us, I added an extra 10 gold for your troubles."
Oh, thank you very much.
Brilliant. Now I would like to spend some by having some beer and food, please.
And she gives a bit of a laugh at your enthusiasm to have a snack, giving a wave saying, "Certainly, welcome, of course. We're just getting supper on the go right now, which is some lamb chops, lentils, turnips, nut bread, and pecan pie. Only cost a gold for the group of you, for the 4 if all 4 are sitting. And we also have some snacks as well. Some good blue cheese by the dwarves has been made. Of course, the nut bread can be purchased on its own. We got some prunes as well that have been stewed. On top of that, you'll also find we have definitely good drinks some Smiled Bulet malt. You can get a full pint for only a silver. If you're looking for something a little lighter, though, I might suggest the Copper Forest Fruit Ale. Only 9 copper a pint. As they have a good selection here of drinks, after all. But if you just want something basic, we've got the Moldy Bear Ale as well. Just 6 silver for the full pint, though. It's got a very fine flavor.
They ever rethought that name? Maybe.
She gives a laugh and shakes her head at that one. Says, "Oh, we don't mess with tradition, my dear. Everyone seems to enjoy it. Like, we say Moldy Bear Ale, and it's always sticks. I mean, it could have been worse. We could have picked the head of an animal or something and said that would be it. You know. Matter if we said wolf head liquor.
I'd like the fruity one. That sounds good.
And she'd have no problem giving a quick pour. Now the Copper Forest Fruit Ale is 9 copper points for a pint. It's a very straightforward, modest price, and it's a very straightforward, modest ale. A good brew, definitely.
I'll have one of them, please. And well, are we all having a meal? Yep. Lamb chops.
Pop a gold down. I don't. As long as it's warm, I don't really care.
And they've got no trouble serving up a nice meal for you. They have a good time setting it all out, as mentioned. The lamb chop, lentils, turnips, nut bread, and pecan pie. A nice, warm, tasty meal to go with your nice reward. Now, of course, there are more missions on the back wall, and there are a few commoners sitting around.
I think the first thing we would do would be split up the money. Right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Sure. Well, 10 gold each, and then save 10 for
the party fund.
For Deacon.
Oh yeah, sorry. Yep. Sorry. I thought you were including him. No, listen, I thought you were including him in the vision. That's why.
Oh yeah.
That's all good.
We've got him set aside for now. If anything should come up, they'll be tagging along, but since they're not here today.
Alright, okay. Minus. Oh, interesting. So, it doesn't. This character sheet does not have. Like if you have 1 copper coin, but 1 and 1 silver, and try and minus 9 copper coins, it doesn't automatically convert for you.
Oh, each one's its own separate bag.
Yeah. Which surprises me. Dun 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 dun. Okay. It's pretty straightforward though. 1 copper is 10 silver. 1 gold is 100 copper. There's not.
The simple jumps of 10s, thankfully.
Yep.
Each one's a magnitude stronger than the last. No electum to have to worry about the halfsies.
I'll pay for the food. I'll take the one gold for everybody's food out of my 10.
Okay.
10 or 20, Dean? It was 10, right?
Yeah, we get 10 gold each.
Right. And I'll just say, yeah, that's cause I feel a little bit bad because y'all got the shit kicked out of you and I didn't, so I'll buy the food.
Oh, thanks very much. Oh, and a day's work though. Well, I say that. I've never fought skeletons as part of a day's work before. But, well, it's bound to happen at some point.
So, I was studying in school and it was all theoretical. I never thought I'd actually, I'll kind of lower my voice a little bit, learned how to use magic, so this is interesting. Not sure what that's about. But I don't know, do you guys want to look at the other jobs and see
Yeah.
what else is available? Sure. I mean, we can eat our food first and everything, but just keep our eyes peeled. Like, I need some more money. This is pittance.
Oh, 10 gold is not bad.
It'll get me through a couple days anyway, but no.
Well, yeah, we'll look at another job. For sure. Is there... Does any of you know where in this town we might find, like, information on liches and magic in general? Because
Stuff doesn't exist in lore. Probably won't find it around here.
Would I have known anything with my studies or anything, Alan? Or
Ancient, powerful, and feared. Very little known about them, as very few encountered them and fewer survived. But that's also at least over a century ago since anything like that has been rumored to have been seen in the world.
okay.
Yeah, I was just thinking, because we met one, and that temple collapsed pretty quickly. Should we look into that a bit more? Is that something? It seems like we should.
Sorry, I was reading a feature on my thing. What were you asking? Should we look into?
Like everything that happened in the tomb. you
Right.
know.
I mean, probably. Yeah, that was really weird. I don't know who to ask though, because as far as I know, we're the only people in town who have magic. So.
Yeah. I'm not used to being the one with the I'm not used to being the person that's in the best place to really come up with answers. I just kind of bumble my way along.
Sure.
If I can take a sword to it, I can give you an answer, but I don't think I can take a sword to this one.
We probably need a major library to find any answers on that.
Is there a library in town? I'll ask whoever brings us food if there's a library in town.
You get a stark laugh at that as they make a comment about reading. We don't prioritize that. Are you nuts? They just walk away.
Oh
This
my God.
small hamlet, with its smaller population, has a very small library, but mostly local tomes and information and old nonsense. Probably wouldn't be much to find there as far as research on ancient magical monsters would be considered.
Right. Yeah.
I have a big drink after they laugh at me about reading.
Yep.
Is this triggering? Is this triggering for you? Did you used to get laughed at for reading a lot?
No, well, I guess. I don't understand why people don't like to study. It's so important, and it's really interesting, and it's really upsetting when somebody thinks that reading is stupid. Anyway.
Books are boring.
Okay,
They
well,
don't do much. They sit there.
I'm gonna use the privy. She does lose for a few minutes.
Oh, goodness. Bartender points your way, she adds, "Oh, the loo's this way, my dear, if you needed a second, because you know." And yeah, this bartender's gonna call each and every one of you my dear.
She bundles up
Mainly that.
a towel or whatever's in there and screams into it, then comes back.
Are you okay? I thought I heard some screaming or something.
Oh, I don't know. Something, maybe one of the rooms. I don't know.
Oh,
Anyway, let's talk about something other than reading. Should I? Is the food here yet?
Oh yeah,
This is
definitely.
Jillian asking. Okay. After we eat, I'll go take a look at the board.
All right. Oh, notice.
I'll be like kind of chewing on like a lamb leg while standing in front of the board.
It's your standard notice board. It's got bundles of fun options, bundles of fun things to be done. I'm gonna give a side view back of the tavern, mind you, on the 3D. As you're walking up, you're noticing a few points of note, a few simple things, and a few general things to do. The first, what you'd be noticing. You see someone says they have found some ancient old items, but they need some help digging them up for the artifact style. And you know this is pretty much going to be turning you into an archaeologist for a day or two. But also the thing to note is this quest is ranked as rank A. It would seem that each letter up that it goes, between A, B, C, D, E, and F, represent a difficulty for these quests. Ah, that's right. Alan's making reference to JRPGs, and, you know, like every other damn thing that's been out recently.
Wait, sorry, are you saying A is the lowest tier or the highest tier?
Lowest tier of difficulty in this one. Highest chance of survivability.
That's weird.
What does the ranks go up to?
They go
S.
A through F, and indeed there is an S rank of quest.
Yes. Yes.
So there's like 20 ranking levels?
7 total.
If it skip a few. Oh, I see. So there's
A
A
through
to F,
F,
and then
and then
just S
F.
on its own.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, right. I just wanted to make sure that it wasn't like GHI to JKL, like all of
No,
those.
no.
Just your standard JRPG stuff.
Yep. And the ranking for each one as it goes through.
I don't play a lot of JRPGs. I'm sorry, you guys.
Oh, no worries. These ones are focused on your survivability. The higher the letter in the ranking, the higher chance of surviving. So doing a rank F quest, for example, that's pretty much death. And S, it's called that for suicide. As much as I'd like to say JRPG, not quite. S for suicide. In fact, there's only one notice under S. All the others have some more among the A's and B's and C's than you get to D, E's, and F, mind you. Like,
Just out of curiosity, what is the S?
Wow.
I'm not saying we're gonna do it. I just would like to read it.
As your character leans forward, squints at the note, and it's like, there's actually a suicide request up. Who would have thought something this difficult would hit a bar so far away? Let's see here. Reading over, it says there's a note that there is a caravan seeking guards, as they are going to be traveling. They're going to be crossing the great expanse to the west in order to make it to another kingdom. And maybe as Nestri is out by this board, and I'm actually going to pull your character over to that pretty board on the wall I've got there. And the other 3 are sitting, eating their food, finishing off, having a drink. Maybe you're also overhearing some of the locals as they're talking. Explaining, and they're talking about, oh, have you heard about this one kingdom out to the west? The same one in Nestri's mentionings. As you hear mention of one last great expanse, one place where humanity's trying everything they can to hold on. But it's these words you're reading and these ones you're overhearing from the people nearby that cause all of your characters to take a moment to pause, as if they start to lose, like the very ground itself, gone from underneath your character's feet. They make mention of the kingdom of Black Rock, far to the west, where some have gathered again under this bannership of a strong leader, one powerful warrior, by the name of Full Dust Stern Spear.
Oh, I'm triggered.
Indeed. Upon hearing that place and reading those words and seeing those names, your characters would also remember who they rightfully are. That little fun Niseki story we're doing, where you're all reborn, well, all at once, those memories of both lives, the players behind the characters and the characters they're playing, would come to fruition once you hear the name Full Dust Stern Spear. After all, who could forget Dusty?
You remember that, like our characters and us?
Everything. Which also comes with one heavy burden of meta-knowledge. You all remember sitting at the table as you were starting up a new adventure, and the dungeon master, Alan, was so happy. He's like, all right, I got this great plan. As he pulled out this old book, said Dungeons and Dragons 2nd edition, blew the cover off, dust flew up everywhere. He goes, look at this one. We're going to take some inspiration from this, and he popped the book open on the table, and turned out to be cursed, and a portal opened up. Next thing you know, well, you're here now. All 4 of you, anyway. It would appear the dungeon master is missing. Or at least, for as all as any of you considered, yourself is there, looking at your 3 companions. Would your brain immediately go, oh, those are my friends? No. You stand with your on your heels as the world comes back to you. As the people continue to speak, oh yeah, Blackrock, wonderful place, but good luck getting there. Trying to get across the cold, dead waste of this world? Whew! I'd rather take on a dozen direwolves with nothing more than a dagger. As it seems to be a treacherous way to go from point A to point B. But the meta-knowledge, as I said, you all are straddled with. When you were sitting down for this adventure, you were sold one specific thing about this world. About O-Earth that you were returning to. The world where last year characters went and fought one hell of a fight against Sardior himself. This world is dying. The very core of magic has been burnt out, and it's fading. It's got 3 years before this world collapses and dies. And with it all the people and all the little pieces that go woo. But one other fact remains greater than all else, is that this world is the linchpin across all worlds. It's where the gods first set their claim on the multiverse when they took strength from the original one world. If this world goes, they all go. The only goal you know, when you were sitting down to start this campaign, the Dungeon Master promised it's not going to be sadder and sadder every time you step forward. This is a righteous campaign. Because it's your job to save this world. And that's the name of the campaign. Worldsaver.
So the vaccine will immediately stand up and just casually look around, then sit back down and go, right, that makes me feel slightly better. I'm still the tallest person here.
And bartender, of course, she's gonna look back towards you, lift a brow, and say, "Oh, dearie, you need the bathroom. It's right over there." Like I said to your companion, you know, if you're not feeling too good, sometimes the lamb doesn't sit right with everybody.
Oh, thanks. Yep. I'll
look
need
over
that info in a second.
I'll look over at Davian, Maxian, and go, "You're still shorter than me, you know that."
No, I checked your character sheet. It says you're 5'9".
That.
Oh, are you actually taller than me?
Yeah, I'm 6'2".
Oh.
Alan said we're going to be reincarnated forms of ourselves. So I'm like, damn right, I'm going to be tall.
Yep. Have some fun with it. Everyone's got that skittish glance now as you've all gained your memories, but you don't know that the person beside you knows what you don't know, what you don't know. You know?
Alright, I know how to test if the vaccine knows how to test if Nestri knows the info. The vaccine turns around to Nestri and goes, "I'm."
Nestri goes, "Wait, what?" I was just gonna say, Nestri comes over and just kind of plops her head on the vaccine's shoulder. That was weird.
Yep. So, does everyone,
I say we go to Blackrock.
yes, that sounds like a great idea to me. Everybody get that funny feeling when we heard Blackrock and Full Dust, aka Dusty, and
Dusty? What do you mean, Dusty? I didn't hear anything about Dusty.
Do you remember him?
You mean
Oh,
number
wait.
3?
I will then crack into a shit-eating grin. Of course I
Right.
remember him.
Right. Okay. Where is the? Who do you think Deacon really is? You think he's a brave and fearless leader? Why do I still sound like this? I can't stop. This is weird. Feels like I've got new teeth.
And for those who have a mental voice in their head, because not everybody has that, if you do, it's your OG voice, just to make it a little more strange for you too.
Oh, this is gonna make.
You mean more
myself-
Izaki?
Yeah. I mean, we want to go for that fun line to have a little bit of a joke with it. Yes, definitely.
This is gonna make talking to myself very confusing.
And of course, at that moment, I'm gonna have Deacon pop through the door, still fully decked out in all of their armor as they look around, look towards the team, and they give a nod. Friends, as they take a seat at the tavern. Person looks towards them, offers them a drink. They just wave a hand, said no, 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 and pats their stomach, as if they've already had a meal. But those of you who've looked at the character sheet know exactly why I'm doing that. Like,
Alan?
They just looking around blankly. They pause and look towards you as you notice you're staring at them weird. They pause and they're gonna pat their chest, say Deacon.
Right. Okay. No, I don't think it. No, doesn't know it was. Who's the best little fluff in all of the land? Do you know who that is?
Me.
Pauses, looks
Wow.
back and forth, then points at your ally, says, apparently that guy.
Right. Okay. Yep.
And to make things a little more straightforward on this one, mentions of, well, we're gonna go to Black Rock as you lean over, and Deacon's like, sounds fun. It's across the waste to find full dust stern spear. And he goes, oh, that's gonna be a brutal march. I better go buy some more supplies. I'll see y'all in a little bit, okay?
Right. Bye, Deacon.
Gives the thumbs up, just in his usual casual way. Given the race of that character and the fact that their player's not here today, I mostly just did that to cross off the fact because they're not being on that same par as the rest of you. They decided to play their character exactly. So you know. Which does lead an interesting character. What happened to the DM? All 5 of you got sucked in.
Think he's Alan, guys? Like, he was kind of emotionless, right? Wanted to make us suffer. Didn't care about hurting poor Lulu.
He didn't seem
Tree
to know.
starts humming the theme song to Inuyasha. I want to. That's for Alan.
Oh, I love it.
Deacon didn't seem to know who Lulu was.
Yeah, but he may not have got his memory.
This is unrelated to the game, but I just thought I should share this with you guys. I was playing Legend of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom, and without getting into specifics, because I don't want to give you any spoilers, there is an area called Lake Lulu, or Lulu Lake, and I hadn't been there, and I thought I had, and I was trying to figure something out, and trying to find something, and I'm like, is Lulu Lake the answer? And then I looked, and it turned out that Lulu Lake was indeed the answer, and I was like, ha!
Nice.
Look at Lulu. Save of the day, even in Breath of the Wild sequel.
Love it.
Anyway, that was just kind of a silly little thing that I wanted to share with you guys.
I don't think I'll ever have an NPC companion ever again as good as Lulu was.
No. Alright, so are we actually just gonna go to Black Rock, though? Like, is that the mission, or should we do, like, some of the little ones first?
I mean, I'm not entirely sure.
Well, I would imagine that this particular one would be time sensitive, as they plan on leaving.
Admittedly,
Right.
all of your missions are time sensitive from this exact start date. It's going to be 3 years before this world comes to an end.
Right.
And I
Well.
suspect things will get worse before they get better.
Oh, almost certainly. Yeah.
When is the person leaving for it? So they're leaving on a what was the thing about Black Rock? Can you read it again, Alan?
They're going to be taking a caravan traveling west over the Great Wastes in order to make it to the Kingdom of Blackrock, which is said to be the most prosperous of kingdoms presently standing.
Right.
Did they state when they're going to leave?
Estri would have to go back and grab the note again. Up until that point,
I will do that.
giving it a glance over. The note doesn't seem to actually have a leave date specified. It does list a local manor that you could go and check out the person who is working on setting up this quest to get it up and running, but there's no leave date specified.
Okay. Do we want to go do that? After we have a rest? Like, just go check out the mansion?
Well, I mean, if it's dinner time, they're probably not going to leave tonight, so we could.
Well, yeah, I mean, like, tomorrow morning.
Well, we could go and say we'll do the job, and then go to sleep if we don't want to miss the boat, so to speak.
Okay.
And of course, the tavern here, the inn, the Emerald Bear Inn, certainly has rooms available if you were looking to rent one. Very straightforward lodgings, nothing too crazy, thankfully. They do have some fancified rooms at the very end. In fact, if you want to waddle your characters over to this area, they've got 4 standard bedrooms and one with a nice big old double king-size bed at the bottom. For the ones...
Is that this door?
Yep. For the ones on the far left here, the 4 doors on the hallway. Basic rooms. You can get those for 5 silver points per day each. As for the fancy room to the south, that one costs a full gold per day. I only give them because I made fancified rooms if you have fun playing around on the map. But
Let's see.
Cheap room is good enough for me.
Yeah. Yeah, we can pay for a cheap room and then head out to the mansion and then come back and sleep. Sound like a game plan?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I think that's play.
Industrial just kind of look at Faxi and be like, "Are we? You want to get separate rooms or like?"
I'm gonna walk away as they have that awkward conversation.
I don't know how this is supposed to work.
Yeah. Well, we'll just go. I mean, economically speaking, it's better to get one room. How big are the beds? I'll pee here in the room.
the other room is a fancy double bed, because all of them have one fancy room and all the other basic rooms.
But we don't. There's a double bed one for expensive. Like, I don't want the king size bed for 1 gold.
5 silver
So-
for the regulars, 1 gold for the special room. And
The
you can
regulars
thank
are double.
the fancy ones double the price. You can thank the random generator for being generous on price. Normally they charge a bit more. For the fancy room, that is.
I mean, it's just like cost effect. Like, I don't know. It's up to you.
The whole team
Sure.
bunks in the
Oh.
1 gold room.
Yeah, no, we can share a room. Yeah.
Okay. We'll book the room, and then out. I guess. Do we know where the mansion is? Should we ask for directions or?
There's only one major one in Haskinsport, the same one that was set up from Reynard Haskin, the Paladin of St. Cuthbert, a long time ago. It's a nice area, a good manor with a nice private dock, you know, all that sort of stuff. This is where you'd be going, according to the notations you have, as some of the major hands in this port are the ones who are looking for some help.
Gotcha. Okay.
So
Yeah,
let's,
so then it sounds like we can find it fairly easily.
so let's go ahead and swap up. As the team makes their way out, walking through the streets, it's a fairly busy place.
You do not own any tokens with vision on this scene.
I know, it's still loading, but give it a few minutes.
Oh, sorry. Said it loaded. Just said I had no token on the
Yeah,
scene.
because there's nothing laid out yet. I'm just loading the scene in the background while I'm telling you the city, while I'm dropping your tokens down.
My apologies.
So as you're walking through the streets, as mentioned, this is a dock town. Not too much crazy of anything going on here. Few merchants here and there trying to sell you some goods as you go. But outside of that, for the most part, it's your standard dock town. Few people fishing, but for the most part quiet. People are starting to head back towards that inn and tavern that you all made your way away from not too long ago as we get closer to the evening. It doesn't take long before you find yourselves making it to the manor, as mentioned. A nice spot, very well kept. Beautiful doors in front and a nice single-story, wide spread-out design. They even have a horse carriage cart off towards the side for their own purposes. And according to your notes, this is where it would be, as you come to a set of broad double doors in a front entranceway area for this manor.
Is there a doorbell?
Nope. Just an old, large golden knocker.
Devaxian grasps the knocker and chaps on the door.
His head up.
What was that?
Okay, it's okay, buddy.
We're under attack.
As you make your way in and give a knock on the door after a few minutes, you'd hear the door sliding open, and behind it, a rather old-looking fellow, dressed in a nice suit. They look towards you with a bit of a squinty glance of an eye as they add in, "Well, welcome to Eldershire Manor. Mayhaps what brings you here on this eve?"
Hello. We came about the job for caravan guards.
Oh, yes, very good, very good. Please just follow after me, if you would, the older butler says as he turns on a heel and walks through the halls of this home, you might call it. Very quiet, with sparse furnishings, a door on either side of the main hallway. Though they do make reference that should you need to relieve yourself, a washroom is located here. However, this attendant would take to the end of the hallway where they'd open a door, inviting you in and saying, "Please make yourselves comfortable. I will get the master of the home and they will come to speak with you in regards."
Okay, thanks very much for the invitation. Ooh, that's a big table. You can play a lot of board games at this table.
Lots of Dungeons and Dragons.
The world shakes around us.
Hand floats down from the sky, just goes through the building top, whacks John's character on top of the head, says, "No!" and floats back. Oh my goodness.
Pathfinder, he meant to say Pathfinder.
Yep. I've made a little bit of my fun with it. Well,
I'm gonna have fun with this too. You guys can't stop me from calling it Dungeons and Dragons.
oh my goodness.
Lily shows up. What have you been told, John?
The rules
Toss
change.
it.
The world shifts around. Every time you say Dungeons and Dragons, you lose a hero point.
Oh,
Shit. That would do it. But no, I'm not that.
would it though? I am glutton for punishment.
Oh my goodness.
John's of the opinion you can't mess what you never had.
As you make your way into this dining room, it's well kept, well appointed, and fancified plates and forks and knives set out in proper etiquette and fashion, though no food presently at the table. A glance around, you'd find thin layers of dust among areas that normally shouldn't be in a noble's home, like, the portraits on the wall or even the door frames. The place is kept, but not well kept. I wouldn't be too long as well before you would meet the benefactor of this mission. Oh my god, I can't use that name. Every now and again I have a specific spot where I go to get my info for my characters' names, but the name I just pulled out of my pile of names I'm using is William Cornwallis. Don't think I can use that. I mean, out of all the random names to pull, like, okay. Anyway, so the door would open up at the main area, and you would see, with their sleeves rolled up and a rather astute glare to their eyes, standing about 5'11" with a round build, this short, curled white hair as well, and shining blue eyes from a well-worn face of someone who looks like they've spent most of their lives on the water. An oblong, forgettable face with a medium beard and a low-toned voice. Look towards the group, eyes holding a firm glance. So you're the lot what picked up my note, eh? Please, take a seat. As he makes his way into the chamber.
Oh, thank you very much. Yeah, we would be interested in making our way over to Blackrock there. So it seems like a win-win for everyone if we would guard your caravan.
And he'd
Full
given...
disclosure, though, we're a little bit new at this, so not sure how qualified we are, but we have a lot of interest.
He'd give a slight chuckle at that, and then a nod of his head. Well, I appreciate the honesty. It's always good to get people who aren't necessarily about for a lie. So I'll tell you what. As he walks in, you also hear a thud from one side, as this older gentleman is absolutely missing one of his legs, and instead has a peg leg on the side. As I have a nice picture for him, too, that I'm using.
I didn't pay him for the type of person that would lose a leg.
Oh, you.
As he looks about the group, he'd set down a fine bottle of strong alcohol on the table and slide it out with a number of glasses. Looking like he's not about to pour them for you, as he's made it open for you all to get your own, essentially, as he pours himself a glass from a fifth tumbler that he had, giving it a slow sip as he looks the group over. Well, if you're still new to this whole thing, it's always a little bit risky to put your neck out, and it's going to be fun travels across the wastes. And you all know this yourselves. Your characters lived and grew in this world. You know traveling long distance is inherently dangerous, as there are still some monsters in this world. Those normally created by raw magic, not so much seen, but the aberrations, well, people try to cross the great wastes, and they'd be lucky to make it half the time. Whether it's the weather they must deal with, the nature, or the things hiding within it, the dangers are vast. After all, with the moon split clean in half circling this world, tide forces alone are dangerous enough, tearing at the grounds, the waters, making ship travel treacherous on the best of days and downright murder on a bad day. Today, though the smog and the rain continues, you find solace indoors. And he'd look towards the team as he makes reference again to those wastes that you must travel. Though, before I can even leave and make my way across these wastes, for which I will pay handsomely on arrival at our destination, as money will do none of us any good if we don't make it in the first place. I have another issue that I could use assistance with before I leave. And you all seem the lot that looks like you could get your hands dirty, if you know what I mean.
Alright, so yeah, so it's kind of a two-stage interview process.
Indeed. At least it is now, as I cannot leave until my business here is concluded. As his eyes drift over towards Ulag, in fact, as he says, "Forgive my comments for what I am about to say, but some horrifying orcs have kidnapped my daughter, taken her away, and I wish to have the foul curs cut down and my daughter brought home. This looks like something the group of you would be able to handle, yes?"
A
Like-
rescue mission, yeah. Excuse me. My name's Devaxian. What's your name? I never actually introduced ourselves.
Extending a warm, weather-worn hand out for a shake. And if you receive on that, you'd notice he has an incredible grip strength, the sort that could probably crush bone. However, he's respectful enough that you just get the firm handshake, not the "I'm gonna crush your hand, I'm stronger than you, look what I can do" handshake. Nope. A sign of respect from this person in general as they give you a nice handshake on that. As he adds, "Francis Luadream. A pleasure to meet you."
Francis, what?
Francis Luna Dream. And I'll throw that one into the chat. Oh, you know what? I'm going to give right into the handout section the full stat block that I gave on him because I had some extra info as I was describing him. I've got all that right there for you. Now I'm actually going to stop the stream on my Dungeon Alchemist here. I could switch over to the manor, but there's not too much for it, you know, the basic stuff.
Okay. Right. Well, mate, sorry to hear about your daughter being kidnapped. Do you have any information on, like, where, when, how, any ransom demands?
I do not have much information on how they were able to take her from underneath my nose. They were very stealth about it, very clever. But beyond that, no ransom demand has yet been made. I wish to jump this before it spirals out of control. What I can provide you, however, is their location, their home, where you would find them presently at camp.
Devaxian will look around the table to try and get a sense of what the team's thinking on this. Any signs of people being uneasy or such about this job?
Really focused on the end game, which is to get on that ship to get to Blackrock, so I'm not really thinking about anything else, I don't think. I'll just do what it takes, kind of thing.
Well, I mean, I don't think we could really, in good conscience, sit around and let your daughter be carried away, or ransomed out. I think we could see if we can help.
Do you know why they took her?
He pauses and looks back towards Ulag again with a squint of his eye and back towards the team. I don't care to make guess at what goes through an orc's mind. Not a place I'd like to venture.
Destry kind of awkwardly glares at Ulag.
I mean, this is standard. Nulog just doesn't look like he cares at this point.
Yeah.
The old guy definitely doesn't overly like orcs too much, but he's not above hiring one for help, that's for sure.
Well, how far away are they? Day? Couple of days?
From this area, in order to get to there, would be a small trip. Yeah, it's probably about a 2-hour march out of town in order to get to where they're at off in the woods. Shouldn't be too much.
Right.
2 days or 2 hours? Sorry, I missed it.
2 hours.
Right. Okay.
But you won't be leaving while we're busy, right?
I won't be leaving until my daughter is back home and safe.
Understandable. Is there an insight feature on Pathfinder?
Bum.
I have a thing for that, actually.
Oh?
Sorry, I just need to read what it is. Lie to me. You can use your deception to weave trap to trip up anyone trying to deceive you. If you can engage in conversation with someone trying to lie to you, use your deception DC. If it's higher than your perception DC, you determine whether they succeed. This doesn't apply if you don't have a back and forth dialogue, such as when someone attempts to lie during a long speech.
What's the ability you're using? Sorry?
Lie to me.
Just one
Can I
second
post
here.
it in chat?
There we go.
Yes. There you go. So, looks like perception usually, but I can also use deception.
Mhm.
Because this would be a back and forth.
Well, keeping in mind, as of right now, Ulog's just been standing there. I'm not sure you've actually spoken to the guy yet.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to find
So-
an answer to Jillian's question about.
Again, the answer,
insight.
the what I was doing would be perception. Would be
That's
She can use it for-
specifically for your lie to me general skill.
However,
if you're looking into things, it's perception for reading someone's intent and knowledge check for deductions based off intent. But it's perception for a lot of things now in the book.
Yeah.
Sense motive action is what you're thinking of. The sense motive action is perception versus deception if someone's trying to deceive you.
Which is what I was. It's fine. Never mind. My apologies.
So it's up to the team what you're doing at this point. Because they're looking to have you help take down some orcs.
Could I do a perception check on him to see if I can see what his body language is like?
Yep.
Does
To
he
tell
seem
whether
tense?
the behavior
Like-
is abnormal. Now that one's free for anyone to do. Ulog's ability for lie to me, he has to be actively in conversation to use deception to try to mix them up. Otherwise, you're limited to using the standard perception. But that's available for anyone who wants to roll it. But keep in mind, if you're trying a sense motive check, this one is going to fall into one of my secret checks.
Oh, that didn't roll very good.
It doesn't matter, I'd be rolling it for you anyway.
Well, oh, sorry. I thought because I asked about the perception.
Yep, because that's the one you're trying to figure out how their body language is going. It's based off your
Oh.
character's feelings. It's one of the few ones that I would roll in secret.
No, that's totally fine. I just misunderstood it because I asked if I could roll it, and you.
Yep.
I just got confused about how that interaction went. But that's fine. You can roll it. Maybe you'll roll better than me. I don't know.
So let me give a shot to your perception roll on that. Private roll. There we go. All right. Rubbing your character's chin as she thinks this one over. You feel like he's not telling a whole story here. Something seems off. They might not be saying everything. The small twitch, the way they're looking over towards the orc a little bit extra. You think they might not be giving you the whole story.
Do you have any problem with Ulag here?
He'll pause as he looks towards Ulag, back towards you, says, "No problem, but a bunch of orcs have kidnapped my daughter, so I'm weary to have one walk into my home suddenly."
I can understand that. But Ulag's been a good companion to us. And maybe we're happy to do the job if you're happy to accept our help.
Oh,
All of our help.
certainly. I have nothing against your traveling companion. Ulag, was it here? By all means. Indeed, even on our journey towards the west, I will gladly take them along. Don't get me wrong. They may be making life hard for me now, but he looks towards Ulag. But I'm pretty sure it's not your parents out there in the woods, if you know what I'm saying, right? Still gives Ulag a side glance because that one Nestri would lean on as I use a little bit more for that perception. That one Nestri would lean on as, oh no, they're telling the truth. They're just, in that regard, paranoid that the orc here might be with the other orcs.
Gotcha. Oh wait, I can vouch for Ulag.
It's enough to gain their trust in that regard. He's going to add shortly after, there's not very many able-bodied individuals in this town who are capable of assisting on pretty much anything that I'm looking to do. Even these thoughts of mine are laughed at, so if you're all willing to assist, then by gods, I wouldn't care if the devil himself came up to offer me assistance. This is my child.
Mm-hmm.
Fair enough. So, was she kidnapped from here?
And he gives a bit of a shrug. I am not certain. I've just not been able to catch her, but I did have hunters who were out in the area who reported her being taken by orcs to their base.
How old is she? What's her name?
She's only a fair 19 summers young at this point, in the prime of her foolish little life. My daughter, Karak.
Now, did your hunters say they took her, or did they say she was kidnapped? Or did they say that she was going with them?
Well, as mentioned, she is with them and they have taken her. They've spotted her at the camp.
Which camp?
Sorry?
Said camp? Did you mention a camp before? This is more Jillian
Yeah.
asking then.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry,
Their
I
camp.
missed the part.
Their base. Their location. They have a camp
Hunter's
out in the
base?
woods.
Oh, I got you. So she was at the camp. She got stolen from the camp. Allegedly stolen from the camp.
Yep.
Cool. That was more for Jillian's clarification because I missed the part about that when you were talking about it.
Oh, no worries at all.
Got some fresh water in your cup? Is it almost empty?
A question. If the orcs offer a peaceful resolution, or say we can't, that so if we get caught and we have to, it comes to a ransom sort of situation, do you want us to come back with a demand, or do you want this resolved through force alone?
Don't be fooled by the fact that I live in a very large home. My finances are at best of a squalor volume. It's why I am leaving. Though I intend to leave all this to my daughter, it is not a place I am going to stay. I don't think you're going to find a peaceful resolve with orcs, of all things, war-torn monstrosities that they are. But if you should be able to get her back, then by all means, do as you will. Though I'd rather see them all slain for crossing me.
Have the orcs caused any other problems in town? Have they stolen any other people from the surrounding area? Seems so odd that they should just target your daughter.
Looks towards you with a squint of his eyes, throws the hands up. I've no idea. Not that I've heard of. We have some orcs who live in this town. They're good people. Johan Vincent, down by the dockyards themselves, one of the strongest I've ever met. But these bandits, they arrive in the woods, stalk out in the middle of the night, untrustworthy. I don't think they'd dare attack our town, though. We're well placed to fight back.
I understand. I hope you realize I'm just trying to get as much information as possible and not necessarily question you or your request of this.
He's giving his
Just wanna
hand a
make that
bit of a
really
wave
clear.
at that one, saying, no worries at all. Whatever makes you feel more comfortable.
Right, well, will it be alright if we head out in the morning? Or would you prefer us to deal with it as soon as possible? Some of us are weary from clearing out the tomb.
I would prefer it best if it was taken care of now, but if you require your rest, then take it. And we will go first thing in the morning. I will give you the location, and you can make your way there and take care of it.
I'll just kind of look to the party. What do you guys... Did we officially... So you told us we could take a rest. Like, that we were back up to full, but that was
Oh, yeah.
more...
Between the sessions, yeah, just for the... From the 0 to now, we all got a full restore on your characters. All
Oh,
the health
everybody's
back.
at full health then, right?
Yep.
Okay, perfect.
Full health, full resources.
It's not really what I was planning to do tonight, but what do you guys think?
Hmm. Well, if you give us the location, we can check our supplies, see if we need to get anything, and if we're all good, we'll head off. If we need to wait for a shop to open before we head off, then we'll do that.
And they would be keen to give you direct location on how to get there, following a main path out of town to the north, and then cutting into the woods through what seems to be a beaten trail will eventually bring you to their campsite along a very shallow river.
Does anybody need anything in town? I mean, I was gonna look for some armor, but I can just wait.
I'll talk. Vaccine will talk about stuff like that once we're outside of the manor house.
Okay. That's fine.
Just see how we want to go about it, because I can see that, like, we might not want to go into unfamiliar terrain in the dark. But also it might make it a little bit easier to sneak up on them. But
Orcs have dark vision, you guys don't, so you guys would need a light so they would see us coming in the dark.
I have low light vision, so I'm not completely blind, but I understand.
yeah, I guess it depends how bright the moon and stuff is. Or, well, it's in half. I don't know how that works for brightness. Stars, maybe. But yeah, I don't know. I get, like, one of the things the vaccine wants to talk about when we're outside the manor house is, like, was she kidnapped, or is this like a she wants to go live with the orcs kind of situation?
Yeah, I was wondering the same thing. But what I do want to ask is, it is almost 12:30, and I have to go to the bathroom. I can go for a few minutes and come back, or do we want to take a break? It's up to you guys. I don't mind going.
Oh, we're pretty much perfect on break time. I figured as the team was starting their travel, we'd take a quick break for 15-minute.
Okay.
Because I
Yeah.
I
was,
might-
and you might be onto something, thinking maybe there's something more to this. I was trying to lay as he's looking towards John's character and looking a little sketchy. And your
Yeah.
roll, well, for whatever I rolled, I either rolled really good or really bad for you. I love those secret rolls for
Yeah.
that, though.
I'm very curious. I mean, it did seem like there was not complete information there, which is what my ex to lead me to believe. But no, it's interesting. I might just dip out now because I have to go to the bathroom. But
All right.
if you guys want to talk a bit before we go to break, that's fine with me as well.
So, what do you guys think? Should we go at night or in the morning? So I can see the merits for both. Just I'm not sure where we're more disadvantaged.
I think early morning.
Yeah.
Show up so that way we get there around dawn.
And I guess if we think that the interaction with the orcs might go peacefully, then that's easier to determine, or easier to say, oh, we don't want to fight, as if we show up during the day instead of the dead of night. So morning? Yeah. Okay, let's just say the morning. If we're not, because we're not convinced that she's in mortal peril, so we'll head off in the morning, I think.
Alrighty. Well, as it's a good moment for the team to take a quick pause as well, as you all head back to your rooms for the night to get yourselves a bit more rest and a bit more relaxing. We'll take a quick break, 15 minutes, and we can jump right back in once we're done. And we'll start on the travel as you make your way towards the Orcs Forest Camp. But unless anyone's got any questions or anything, perfect spot for us to take a quick 15.
Not really. Well, I'll speak to Jillian over the break because she said she might look for armor. But will we have had time to like stop at a shop before heading out?
Oh yeah, you've got a full day in advance. Anything from the default items that you can buy. Feel free to spend some cash if you want to buy some gear or some equipment.
All right, cool beans. Right, I'll have a quick think about that. All right, see you guys in 15.
We'll see you all in 15. So as we make it out, the next day, about 10 o'clock in the morning, we'll say, because you all headed out early after a nice, tasty breakfast as we're coming back from break. Making your way out into the forest in search of these orcs. It doesn't take you too long to find their encampment. In the distance, you could see it, even across this path that you walk on this rather nice map that I've got rolling here.
Are we trying to sneak up on these guys, or just gonna introduce ourselves? I mean, I'm not entirely convinced that this daughter was kidnapped. I wonder if maybe it's she wants to run away to the orcs or live with them, something like that. Also, Ulag, how are you feeling about all this? You doing all right?
It is what it is.
Fair enough. Yep. Just sometimes the best way to deal with your feelings is to keep them behind walls. That's what my entire family did. And I have no idea if they're happy or not. Anyway, moving on. Right.
as you can see from this map, because I don't have your vision too limited on it, it's a fairly straightforward go. A path slightly crosses the river towards the north. I forgot to switch over to player mode, so it actually gives the ping. A path splits the river towards the north, which would allow an approach to this camp directly, but as you can see, it goes up, up, and up to get to the camps. They have the high ground, Anakin, so you know. Sneaking up on them is one thing, walking up and saying hello, well, that's a fairly straightforward thing to do.
Right. Okay. How should we play this? I mean, I could go in and try and talk to people first and see if I get anywhere, and you could come in and save me. Or, I mean, I could get horrendously killed if I do that, though. And the context of this world, this new world, is this like classic Tolkien-esque orcs, like marauding kind of monsters, or because obviously we've got Ulag with us. Does it just depend on the tribe?
Essentially, yeah. They are known as primitive race of savage, bestial, barbaric humanoids traditionally, but as Ulag would be probably swift to say, hey, that's only partially true. We're not primitive. You know. That's the note. They can be very savage, bestial, and barbaric by their very nature. So very close to nature that the orcs are. In a way very different from the elves, feeding more to the natural side, the intrinsic instinct, aggressive mammalian carnivores. They often band together in tribes, surviving by hunting and often raiding if they're not the nicest. Though, like all groups, they come in all sizes. There are good orcs and there are evil orcs. Evil will definitely fall to those natural urges to hunt and destroy and really just enjoy every minute of it. But those orcs who don't fall to those ways can be incredibly strong, stalwart defenders. They often have a very good belief to protect and expand their territory, which is why they generally make for a race that likes war beyond others. Similar to humans. That's right, I said it. Though, if there's a fight going on, the orcs enjoy to be in as part of it. They like their violence, and they're very, very nocturnal. But you'll find them pretty much anywhere.
Well, okay, we could split the difference and try to approach somewhat stealthily and observe them for a little bit and see if we think we'd be able to like talk to them like through diplomatic means.
Could certainly approach them. You can see how the main drag leads up.
Oh, I've
Okay.
returned. Sorry.
Welcome back.
Fergus stole my spot, because of course he did.
No. Fergus took back his spot.
Accurate.
I said do video. He knows what he did.
Okay, I'll check out this.
Well, it's not that exciting, but you just tell by the look on his face he knows exactly what he's doing.
Stealing your chair, of course. Now the team presently is situated outside of a camp on a lovely riverbed. Not too far ahead you will find all those orcs bundled and camped together. In fact, I've even got some tokens on the map. One of them doesn't have picture, so you know. But it looks like an orc for the default picture, so I love it. That's what we use. Maybe that was their
Yeah.
intent all along.
Oh, I would have bought some more arrows.
Oh, definitely. Grab some more ammunition. You can add that to the character sheet. You had time during the rest.
Oh. I might have had to have bought more rope. So
Ooh. One of my spells that I took was animate rope, so that could be fun. I don't have it prepared currently, but be useful.
The other thing we'll have to look at later is because we're both arcane spellcasters using spell books, we can copy each other's spell books.
Nice.
So long as the spells match in between. Mega spells versus alchemy and all that sort of stuff. I gave it a quick read. Be honest, I'd have to double check on the rulings, but we'll figure it out.
I'm gonna buy 20 more arrows for 2 silver, just so you know.
All right, no problem at all. Feel free to add those in.
I have 3 silver, so I'm just gonna buy 3 arrows, or 30 arrows.
Nice.
The reason I bought a rope is because I don't think I took the time to stop and get the rope I used to cross the pit.
Oh, no, that's gone.
Yeah.
I'll also add, as you're picking up 3 bundles of arrows for your character, Jillian. Shopkeep's gonna look at you, wiggle their eyebrows, and say, "Aha, bad shot, are we? Yeah, I need like 40 myself to take down. Haha." You know.
Nestry just smiles and lets him have it.
Shopkeeps. They try to be friendly, even if it's slightly offensive for what they're saying. But at least you know, even if you were that bad of a shot, they're worse. What they don't know is that's 30 arrows, 30 kills. Dun dun dun. Oh my goodness.
Or just ignore my crinkling, I'm eating rockets.
Ooh. I'm getting flashbacks to grade school and high school.
Or just any in-person D&D game that we've had. When Dan is present.
Oh my goodness, yes, yes. It was the gummy bears last time we were playing Magic, and it was, oh my word. I had to restrain myself, it's like, I'll take one at a time.
Casually looking over at the 2 kilogram bag of rockets. Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh my goodness. And they're a good one, too. Well, if the team is looking to just walk right up and say, "Hello," by all means. The river is not even that hard to cross. Whether water comes up, just be, you know, a difficult terrain to cross.
Any sign of, Harak?
From a distance, you're getting a glance at the space. There's definitely a good bundle of them moving around, but you'd need to actually roll a check on your perception for that one to see what you can see.
Do I roll that, or do you roll that?
I wouldn't make this one secret, so by all means you. The only ones you'll see me do secret are basically the knowledge check and anything if someone's trying to deceive you. Those moments of perception. I'm definitely going to roll secret just to keep it a bit more fun. But outside of that, most of your checks I'd rather be out loud because I don't want to roll checks for you. That's not why I'm here. Traps, though. Oh.
You're here for those.
Oh, dang, yes. With an 11. As you
That's not me. That's Uleg, but I'll roll it as well.
Ulag glancing across, bringing up the hand to block the sun from their eyes. Muttering something about orcs and early in the days the dungeon master just said apparently don't get along. I can see the effect. An 11 on perception check. You can see that it appears to be a large, maybe medium-sized war band. Nestry is able to confirm that. But it also appears, from glancing with those perception checks, that it looks like they're preparing for something, a very large feast, with a gigantic pot, probably 6 foot across in the middle and 6 feet high.
They're getting married.
Is that something you say in character?
I think he
Or is
did
it a
now.
joke?
Yeah.
A wedding feast.
I'm a little bit concerned about the human-sized pot, you guys, I'm gonna be honest.
6 by 5? Well, I mean, you could like fit a torso of a decent sized animal in there. Probably.
Yeah.
mean, yeah.
No. Oh, names are escaping me right now. Davix, you said you wanted to go ahead and like talk to them, but I think it actually makes more sense if I do.
Oh, yep, of course. I was just floating the idea out there. I'll follow your lead. I mean, I imagine you speak Orcish, which would be a great head start.
Imagine if he didn't.
Yeah, I just have to double check.
It should be an automatic language
Yep.
because of race.
Well, you know what, guys? Absolutely do.
Walks up, goes to speak Orc, accidentally speaks French. Bonjour, mon ami. Oh, shit.
Fun fact: I play a Dragonborn in our Thursday game, and she does speak Draconic, but it doesn't really make sense that she speaks Draconic because she was raised by dwarves.
Oh,
She also speaks Dwarvish, though.
Dwarven Draconic. Dwarf, no, I.
You son of a bitch!
What did you say
Say
about
about my
mother?
mother. Shut up.
You've heard some good insults in your day. But a dwarf cursing natural Draconic. Oh my word. Final boss would just be staring at you and they'd actually look a little sad for a moment, little tear in their eye. Strahd'd be like, I've never been spoken to so badly. Just go, okay? Just go, you win. I'm not fighting you anymore. You're no fun. Whole team's like, we made Strahd cry.
Yes.
Oh, goodness. Actually, I might have a goal if I ever play that campaign now. It's like, I'm gonna make him cry. I know his backstory. You just wait. I'm gonna use this. Oh. Well
Right.
then. Feel free to move your tokens across the map, mind you. It's a bit of a travel to get there. You can take that nice shallow path as mentioned. It's nice and refreshing on the ankles this early in the morning on a nice warm day. I know the map says it's February 13th, but it's not winter.
So, Ulag, we'll hang back a little bit. Just tell us where you want us to wait, and then we'll wait for a signal in case it all goes wrong. What would that signal be?
Probably me screaming in pain.
Right, that is a pretty good signal, I will say. If we don't pick up on that, then well,
Then you guys are the worst group of friends?
yeah.
Oof.
Out of curiosity though, are you ticklish? And if you are ticklish, how close is that to being, I don't know, cut? Like, would we confuse that as being in pain?
Screaming in pain or laughing. If you can mix those two up, I'm worried about you, my friend.
There was this one guy in the cult. He would do exactly that. Could never tell what his deal was. Yeah. Peed himself once. It was embarrassing.
Oh, goodness.
What was there? Yeah. Tried to carry on. Anyway. Should we all cross the river and then
Yes.
wait, like just over the river? So that probably slows down the most.
Yeah, I would suggest.
Right.
And it's no trouble crossing the cool, cold waters before you. You'd make your way across, and of course you'd be drawing the attention of the orcs on top. They'd be walking towards the edge, glancing over and down towards you. A couple of them carrying pikes and javelins, you know, the typical sort of gear that you would use.
Just because Ulag said it might be a wedding, Devaxian will be absent-mindedly picking some wildflowers to give as a gift, just in case.
All right.
So,
As you're making your way up towards these rather flamboyant campsites that they have sent up, there's some tents, there's some laughing, and of course, there's a couple of orcs. And you'd find them down this way, of course, this giant rock wall blocking most of your ability to move forward. But a group of them here, along with a guard, standing near the front of it. They'd be looking towards you as you approach.
yeah. So, I'm going to approach by myself. Obviously, not. I have not drawn my sword. I, however, am holding my shield. And I will call out in Orcish. Good day. We come to talk for a moment if you haven't time.
And the orc's gonna look towards you with a bit of a squint in their eyes as they see you coming and you speak in orc. Okay. You can come on up. What are you talking about? Where are you from?
I'm from the town of city name here.
He blinks a few times. I never heard of a city name here. And you're like, damn it, I meant Haskinport, Dungeon Master. He'd give a nod. Oh, Haskinport, yeah, not a bad place nearby. They got good fish. Very tasty. You coming for the celebrations?
What are you celebrating?
Oh, we're gonna be having a wedding. It's gonna be wonderful.
Would it be... Did we get the daughter's name?
Kara.
Yes.
Yeah. Is it? I would say the name because I literally cannot remember to save my life. Apparently.
Eric.
Eric. I know you just said it.
Okay. It's okay.
Literally, I can't. Name is just not there.
It's okay.
It's just a blank space.
This is... Now, I really wish the other party members were there, because you'd have Jillian's character just continually correcting your character as they saying the name. We're here to see Kirak, you know what I mean, back and forth. We could have run with that, don't get me wrong. But your character would come out forth with the name, and they'd give a laugh and say, oh yeah, the lady, yeah, she's here. You come on in, you come on in. Yeah. We got other families of the orcs who come for visit to give their well wishes, so you know. As indeed, it is a motley crew of orc here.
You have no problem with my friends join me, do you?
Yeah, no, that's all right, so long as they brought some gifts, of course. I mean, it's a wedding.
Yeah. I will kind of wave you guys up.
Okay. Hello.
Told you.
As we see the rest of you coming up, this one orc on guard's just gonna give a nod, looking back towards you. You know that? Sorry. Hello. You probably don't speak orc. Come on in.
No, I don't speak orc. Thanks for speaking common, though. That's nice of you.
I give a nod as they acknowledge, well, it's a wedding, of course.
So, who's getting married?
Oh, High Chief's son. You're going to be getting married.
Cool. To Carrick? Thought that might be what's happening here.
I'll pull Jillian's token over.
Oh, sorry. I am listening. I'm just.
Oh, yeah.
I don't.
You're not always the most active on a map unless a fight's actually breaking out. Did you? Oh no, it's just
Yeah.
wow. That was quite the travel for that token. I actually zoomed out like twice. Where is it? There it is. Just so we're all near the same spot if a fight breaks out. After all, you never know. Though they're standing here dressed in slightly formal attire, they're still decked out in their armors and with their weapons. Definitely looks like they could take care of themselves. But they're also having a bit of a jovial time. You can see a group of them, 5 or 6 or 7, sitting around a nearby campfire, with a couple of tents not too further beyond that. Another campsite further to the east, with another grouping around them. But to the north, you'd imagine the one overlooking on the rocks might be more prominent, with a rather fancified tent. and a number of other orcs moving around, doting in and out of it.
Seems like that's where the wedding's gonna be.
Would we be allowed to go and speak to the bride or the groom beforehand, or do we need to wait for the ceremony to be over?
And you get one of those deep orc belly laughs, like, as they give a shake of their head. You can go ask the war chief. He might be able to let you, but you don't go and see anybody on their wedding day.
Yeah.
Nestri will just be like, "What about me? I could help her with her hair, or help tie her dress."
Part of me wants to roll with the orc stereotype, but I'm not going to. That he'd look at you and say, "I'm sorry, no men can see the bride," because you're not an orc. But I just can't do it. He's gonna look towards you, give a shake of his head, say, "Oh no, only those attendants permitted. You need the war chief's permission to go and see." As easy as it would be to fall to that orc stereotype, I just can't do it. No creature's that dense. Especially given that your character's elven. Like, come on.
Yeah. Alright, well, it can't hurt to ask, can it? What's the worst that could happen? It just says no, right? He looks at Olag and goes, right?
Yeah.
Or will he try and behead us for asking?
The guy on guard, however, shrugs his shoulders.
Alright, well,
Depends how rude we are.
we're quite outnumbered, right?
Yeah. So I don't suggest being rude.
No. Yeah. Okay, well, I'll lead the way. I'll follow you. Probably seems less weird if you're in front.
As you're walking forward, I will say we're Ulag. One of the orcs at the campfire is going to stand up, look towards you, take a few steps, and throw an arm around your character's shoulder, holding over a pint as they do, as they just say in Orcish, "Hey, friend, drink up and enjoy a taste. It's real good."
I will throw my arm around him. Soon, my friend. First, gotta go speak to the chief for a moment. But I'll come find you afterwards.
He'll give you the side-on glance. "What kind of orc doesn't drink?" And, you can tell they're celebrating for sure. But a second firm no is definitely heard by them, don't get me wrong.
Oh no, if he hands me one for my journey, then I will. But
Oh yeah.
I had to make it clear couldn't stay for a moment.
He's still shoving a second one, like, more than happy to help. Give a little bit of alcohol. To especially one of the same. The lady standing beside him, a beast of an orc. I'm gonna give her 18 strength, let's say. She's gonna laugh and clap you on the back, too, as you take the drink, Standard orc ways, rough and tough. Another orc's gonna walk over towards her, and he's gonna say, look towards her, "I shouldn't you?" And she's just going to nod, say, "Oh, you're going down!" And the two of them drop to an arm wrestle, because, they're celebrating, as all orcs like to. Wouldn't be hard if the party was looking to jump in on an orc celebration or two, but just keep in mind, they're brutal. They're orcs, after all, and these ones seem to be the sort who are a tad bit more nomadic. Hunters, fighters, warriors. That being said, one of them sitting at the fire, definitely a little more gangly than the others, has a book in lap and a pair of glasses flipping through as they're doing research, apparently. Not all orcs like to just beat things up, after all. Most. Beyond that,
Depending on how fast the group is moving, we're like talking to taking a drink with the other orcs. The Vaxi might go and go, "Hello, what book are you reading?"
the orc's gonna take a moment, holds up one finger as they do, and you see they're still reading the page, and then they lick a thumb on the others, just to stick. As they do, they flip the page over, pull out a bookmark, set it down, and fold the book shut. Look up towards you with a smile a moment later. I'm just reading one here on seafaring crafts and how to properly create and craft a good hull. As he pats the book, written entirely in Orc, but indeed, a manual on how to craft seafaring vessels.
Oh. That's... Oh. That's interesting. Like a ship? Like a long... What would you rather build? A long ship? Galleon?
The eyes,
Trading
eyes go wide as they smile. Warship? Because, I mean, it probably doesn't come as a surprise at that point. You can take to the waters and start shooting cannons at all them pirates. Oh, it'd be awesome. Just sink every one of their boats for what they've done. Yeah. At least they have noble intent.
How far along are you in that book? Do you reckon you could like start building one? How long would it take?
Oh. Grog's boss says, Vagig says I have much more to learn yet, so you know. Maybe 4 or 5 more books, I might be able to make a dinghy.
Right. Well. I mean, it's good to have goals. Well, my name's Devaxian. Nice to meet you. You find any more books? Let me know. I'll see. Maybe we can trade ideas. I don't know a lot about long ships, or ships in general, or warships.
He gonna give a big thumbs up as he nods. No problem, boss. Anytime. I keep an eye out. Any books I see, I'll let you know. But, of course, another orc's gonna come over and drop a mug on top of this one's head. They're gonna look a little shocked as they reach up and grab it. The other one is now saying, chug, 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 chug. And of course, little Bagig gives it a throwback with that liquor, real quick. Muttering something of, oh, this ain't gonna make reading easy.
The vaccine will give a little cheer and then walk back towards the group.
And of course, they're all partying and having a good time. But there is still the chief's encampment towards the northwest. No one's gonna stop you from walking up and talking to them. Where the tent where the bride and groom are kept, however, that one's strictly heavily guarded.
The war chief on the highest level?
Yeah.
There we go. I accidentally double muted myself. Right up here is the big bad war chief. They even got a slightly more specific style of token. Laughing as they drink from a large tankard of ale. Taking their time with it though, so you don't think they're too inebriated. They seem to be fairly set. I also don't have this map too much limited on your motion. You should be able to drag your token anywhere you want to go. The ones stationed up here, however, are a bit more silent, slightly more on guard. The 4 sets of eyes around that campfire are quick to levy towards the party as you approach. Shifting glares between the group of them, though. The war chief is continuing to drink and laugh, looking around as they do, every now and again sharing a conversation, but...
So, out of curiosity, Alan, how many wildflowers do you reckon the vaccine would have been able to pick when we were waiting for Ulag to go ahead?
It's got a little bouquet, no problem.
Awesome.
Oh, I'm not muted, sorry.
So how would the team like to approach on this one?
Probably deferring to Ulag.
I mean, Lag would know more than I would. In their culture, I assume going up and like greeting would be appropriate, right? Or is there something that specific they're supposed to do?
Nothing specific that would be known to your character. It's always good to go up and congratulate the parent of a kid who's about to get married, especially in orc culture. It's probably one of the few times they're very approachable. As you can see, they're partying and having a good time.
I will walk up, my hand raised in greeting. Congratulations, good chief.
The war chief's going to look towards you, squinting their eyes a bit before smiling. Aha, more who have come to give greeting. Welcome, welcome. Tell me, what brings you to this fine place today on such a day when my son will be wed?
I'll look at the others, kind of like more like, how honest do we want to be?
I reckon we say that we're looking for Carrick to offer our congratulations and talk to her about her home life, maybe. I don't know. I mean, I'm not inclined to stop this at all. It seems all perfectly pleasant. But maybe we just see if we can find out more information from her on what's going on. I honest enough, I reckon. Maybe not tell her, not say that we were sent to bring her back. Just say we came looking for her.
The orc war chief's gonna keep a squinty glance on the group of you as he looks around before adding, "All right then, if that's the case. What do you bring as gifts for my soon-to-be children? For my son and his soon-to-be wife? So if you're looking to see them, you gotta have something to offer. Or, well, those of you with the silver tongue might have a different route you can take.
So let me check something. Okay, diplomacy. Deception. Well, I actually brought this bouquet of wildflowers, which, as you know, symbolizes many in human culture. Got this one for prosperity, and this one for vitality, and this one, you know, for what do you call it?
The libido.
Maybe libido. Good word. And you know, it's often said that a wedding without this symbolic gesture of wildflowers maybe might not turn out the best. So we would really appreciate it very greatly if we could hand this to the bride.
As you're going through the listing of things, you can see the war chief looking slightly more aggravated by each comment, hand gripping tightly on the staff in hand before you get to the part of libido where the eyebrow raises up. Then he starts to laugh at that. Oh, I see, a little bit of honeymoon add-on. You go right ahead. Take in with my blessing. As he waves a hand toward the tent.
Thank you. Far too kind. What an auspicious day.
Liam didn't even make a roll for that one. I wonder why. But, indeed, 2 tent flaps with 2 orcs standing outside to a larger room on the inside. You could all definitely walk right on in.
Oh, we all can. I was just gonna ask if we all could.
Big tent. I don't actually have one on the map here, but the big tent. You know, it's got the 4 pillars at each end, one in the middle, a big tall points. Not just some small little sleeping spot, oh no. And on your way in, indeed, you'd see groups of half-orcs making their way, or groups of orcs, half-orcs, my goodness, all these character customizations slipping me up, making their way through, doting
He's
to
deceiving
a
us.
pair. And you can see what appears to be through 2 basic throne-style chairs at the end of this area, with a single tapestry set between them, blocking them from each other's view. Seated in the right, certainly, probably you would assume anyway, the daughter that you were sent here to find, sits as a number of orcs are presently doting to her physical appearance, as is standard, making her hair, doing the makeup, taking care of her nails, but not to be outdone. The orc gentleman sitting on the opposite throne, the one who cannot see her, where they're covered by this cloth in between. Though they have a full view straight out to the opening of the tent as you all come in, of course. They're also being tended to. Someone's giving them a nice fresh shave, putting a manicure through each one of those taloned fingers of theirs. A good, strong, solid shoulder rub, a polishing for the tusks sticking up from their jaw. And, of course, a braiding of their beard to make it look extra fancy. All 9 yards being brought out as you see both of them being prepped in formal attire for a wedding.
How does Karak look? She look happy, excited? Does she look
Give me
splendid?
ye old perception check on that one.
And I'm rolling that one?
Yep.
Big money whammies. Let's go.
No whammy, no whammy, no whammy. Stop! Oh god. That was a good game show.
Oh god, that's not good.
With an 8. Your character sees them and you just think to yourself, "Aw, look at the happy couple. They are gonna get married."
Is it be out of place for someone else to roll one as well, or
Oh, by all
should we
means.
just-
Anyone who wants to peer a little close, if you're looking closely at these two, the person you've come, everyone is more than welcome to make a perception check on this.
Alright, cool. I imagine the vaccine probably does a strange bow so he can kind of do a long stare. A long stare.
Ulog with an 11. Can't help but appreciate seeing someone go through such traditional vice on making those tusks looks ever so pretty. And Phoenix as well. You don't even know orc hygiene or physique or anything like that, but you're impressed by how incredible they're making that guy look. But it's the Vaxian who isn't quite distracted by the physical appearance. Looking between the two of them, you can definitely see concern in her eyes for a second as she catches yours. For a brief moment. Like a deer in headlights, you've seen that look of fear before. Something isn't right here.
She thinks we're here to take her back. But I don't say that because I don't notice it.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
no,
so
I'm
we're
not.
clear.
Sometimes
Just so
I'm
we're
saying
clear.
maybe that is what your character said, but not while you're snooping. Unless you were playing like a fighter with 1 wisdom, 1 intelligence. Then at that point, you know,
Oh, I definitely would.
you're playing it at that point to put your foot in your mouth, right? Like,
Yeah.
that's half the fun.
Right. If I get a brief moment, the vaccine will whisper to the group. She seems a little concerned about something.
Okay, I could not hear that, Dean.
But
It's been hard to hear you. You whispering is just not a thing that.
Oh, I just said the vaccine will try and, if he gets a quick moment, he'll turn around and whisper that she seems concerned about something. But then I guess we would probably make our way up to the couple.
as you do, the male would look towards you, squint his eyes a bit, and say, "More well-wishers, hey? Well, welcome, thank you. Tell me, what gifts do you bring?"
A bunch of wildflowers that represents various things for the occasion. One in particular that got interest was this flower here that is a symbol for libido. It's important to note that at this point, the vaccine is probably pointed to an entirely different flower than to the one he pointed to outside, because none of this is real.
However, the lady sitting across from you is quickly going to raise up her eyes at that, look left and right, and seem to squint as she says, "Oh, well, now you can't simply just give that gift over. We all know that. It's tradition amongst our kind, our people, that you are to give that under the cover of no other people being present, right?"
Of course, and I would never hand this over directly with all these people around. I merely present them and request to kindly hand them over, which is our tradition.
In order to make that attempt, you would have to, of course, try to be deceitful in what you're trying to do. Deception is going to be the key ability to use here for whoever's the most deceitful on the party, as it's very clear she's jumping on an opportunity to try to get you all alone there with her.
I have a +6 to my deception.
I got a +7.
So it's a coin
Looks
toss.
like you're up. 7 is greater than 6. Math.
Maths indeed, but will my curse appear at this critical moment?
I mean, I've been rolling poor anyway, so it really is just giving us a better odd. You can use your heroic
I was going to
point.
say I
That's why I
might
was
use a
staying
hero
quiet.
point. Yep, I'll use a hero point.
Yeah,
Come
you
on.
have to stay quiet. I don't.
Oh, exactly. Oh, I was staying quiet on the result.
Yeah.
Because I was going to say it, but you beat me to it, because darn right, if you've got it, good time to throw one down.
Yes.
One of the orcs puts a hand on your shoulder, says, "I'm pretty sure that's bullshit." And you're like, no, it is. This is the hibiscus flare flower, see? Not bullshit. And they're like, "Oh, it smells nice. You know, I think I believe you. I'm going to go off duty and go home." And you see him walking towards the doors. He's saying, because apparently he's going to be having... I just picked Maid Marian because, you know, from, like, the mind went blank on a name, and I just heard that one from the old Men in Tights Robin Hood version. It just came to mind for some reason, and that stuck, so there we go. Apparently, they have no trouble as the doting orcs all make their way out of the tent. And of course, all of 3 seconds pass before she's on her feet, launching herself forward and grabbing at Ulog's hands as she brings them forward and says, "Please, please, sir, you and your friends, you have to get us the hell out of here."
What's going on?
That's a good question. As it seems the other orc, the male, the one she is betrothed to, getting up too, walking over towards you. Both of them with this request. And you might be wondering, wait, what the hell? What did the DM pull this time? Which direction is it going? Well, it's spot on. End of game time for today, so that's a perfect little place for us to leave till next week's game.
Well, cliffhanger, Rooney.
My personal favorites, you know. Good timing on using the hero point too, because damn, they reset at the end of a session. You'll have them for next week.
You know what? That was going through my head. I'm like, it's 2:00.
Yep. One nice thing when you know it's getting near the end of the session, I gotta make this to make things go by. You know what? Hero point time.
Yeah.
It's a good point to drop it. But that's a good spot for us to lay off for next game. As you stand in the middle of a war encampment of orcs who are marrying off their own, but things apparently aren't what they seem. The plot thickens. On
Next
week's
time
game.
on.
Next time on Worldsaver. Worldsaver Part 1. The World with No Tomorrow.
You know what? You usually don't get a wedding episode this soon into like a season starting.
Yep.
Really shaking things up.
It's just the weirdest thing that literally all of us were like, is this actually kidnapping though? Like,
And then you get there and the dungeon master is like, yes, yes it is. And the plot thickens.
They've both been kidnapped somehow. the orc son goes, yeah, this guy isn't my dad. I don't know why I'm here.
Can't you tell
This
I'm a
has
hill
been a
orc?
really long con that has gone horribly, horribly wrong.
The orc is actually the one that's kidnapped.
Oh my goodness. Well, I'll leave you all to speculate. We'll find out on next week's game. But that's a good spot. I'm gonna cut the recording here.